Hello there guys, it is Golden-Zealot back with another video, and why do I have this open? Well, as you can see, I have lowered the funds rewards that we get. I'll be lowering that because I think that was too much. I think we made too much money there. But yeah, here we are, back again. And yeah, alright. And I forgot what we left off at, so I kind of forgot. Alright. I remember now. You know, we have the mainsail. You guys are probably going to despise this because of how expensive this may be, but that's alright. Still don't have auto strut. Oh, wrong. Okay, so that's decoupler, that. Alright, save. Science Junior, though. Okay, so I'm gonna redesign this. You guys may question this build. It would be fair if you guys do question it, because it is quite an awkward. It's going to be quite the awkward build, but that is fine. Okay, get rid of this real quick. Give me details. Ooh, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good amount of delta V. It's giving me some decent results. That barely gives anything extra. Meters per second, 3,000 meters per second of delta V. So then yes, I do want to go for this design then. Don't think there's a size for that, so I'll just have to do this. Hell yeah, alright. With some solid fuel boosters on the side. We'll do that. We'll do that. Those are good. Those are really good. Alright. Those will be very high efficient as well. Because for for some reason these boosters scaled down are stupendously efficient. I think they're really low thrust though, aren't they? That's the only problem. How low thrust are they? That's not too bad. Like that's not good, but I guess I'm like that's not the best, but and we're gonna do something I do with my interstellar starships. Let's hope this turns out somewhat decent. This is awkward. Very awkward. That's like 7,000 meters per second of delta V. That's actually going to be very good. Okay, this is a very unusual rocket. Usually I wouldn't build something like this. Very, very awkward design. That is for sure. But you know what? Yeah, this is a very awkward, kind of ugly design. But you know what? We'll give it a go. Nope. Bill, get the fuck out of there. I need Bob. Why? 'Cause he is a scientist. I need my science. As you guys could imagine, yes, I'm going to abuse the fuck out of, oh, what's it called? Mid-miss. What do I mean by that? Well, that thing's going to be my mobile station, pretty much. My planet mobile base and shit like that. Those boosters are going to overheat and blow up, sadly. So I won't be able to get to use their full effect. Well, yeah, that was unsuccessful. That's disgusting. We're not gonna do that. Never mind. We gotta get rid of this entire thing. There we go. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this. this rocket might be a little overqualified. I think it's cheaper, actually. I think it's cheaper getting to Minmus and then going back to Kerbin than it is to Mun. To Kerbin to Mun, then back. Which just proves my point on how kind of useless Mun is. Like, if we had a second moon, like, that'd be so useful. That would also be very chaotic. Imagine how many wars, like, an early World War III would probably happen because the USSR versus the US. Fucking, hey, look, USA, I got to the second moon before you guys did. Next thing you know, fucking because of that, we'll just jumpstart a new World War III. I could see that shit. I could see that shit happening. God damn. I fucking... playing without auto strut is disgusting. I honestly despise it so much. No auto strut is like one of the worst things you can ever do. My God. Dear God. Okay, here we go. Okay, good. That's gonna stay in orbit. That's perfect. That's a very eccentric orbit, but it's a stable orbit. We'll keep debris disabled for now. You know, I don't really like having a lot of debris on the list, but... So also try to keep space debris to a minimum. Maybe, I don't know. Alright, now we just gotta get really low. Like, really, really low. Like, I'm thinking 15,000 meters? Okay, that's nice. We're gonna want the day side. Mun is easy, but it's just... I don't really like Mun. He has a little bit of too much gravity. I know that's very contradictory to say because I literally landed on Stolipid, and Stolipid pretty much has the same gravity, so I'm honestly dealing with the same situation. But it's just Mun is a lot more uglier. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's literally just gray. It's boring as fuck. That's another thing, is like Mun is a decent destination. To me, it's just not visually pleasing. Well, that's dangerous. Alright. Like, yeah. Mun is very relative to Stolipid, though. Bruh. Aw, damn! Fucking Superman jump, brother. Yeah, I kinda gave this craft too much fuel. Plus, I hate those fucking things. They're just basically extra mass. Extra mass and parts and garbage. If I ever do another Mun mission, or another Mun landing, like for a contract, like if I have to plant a flag, I don't know what that was. That was Midlands. I'm pretty sure I can review data, so I can go ahead and see what I collected. Midlands. So yeah, if I were to do this ginormous crater, that's technically the lowlands. Like that crater, like this ginormous crater somewhere in here, I could probably get away with doing another experiment and coming back a second time. And don't worry to the people who are like, oh, this guy's playing the boring old stock system versus what he had before. He had like a whole custom system and entire different star systems. Yes, basically it's the stock Kerbal system alongside extra star systems. So Proxima Centauri is kind of still a thing, just in a different way. For fuck's sakes. Well, looks like we can't even rotate either. That's no good. Probably should have added batteries as well. You know, I should really add an alternator either to the Wolfhound engine. If it doesn't have one, I should add one to it. Or I should just honestly add like a very minuscule alternator to the Terrier, because I find it's bullshit that the Terrier doesn't have an alternator. You'll see why I turned like that. Because you can see, we get to our periapsis. See how that just perfectly aligns with retrograde, and then I can just do this and get back to Kerbin. have so much Delta V. I'm honestly just gonna waste it on a landing zone. I don't care. Uh-oh. Oh yes, Kerbin's quick rotation. Awesome. Now I just don't have a, the only downside is I don't have an engine to, oh yeah, my Kerbals are fucked. There's no way that this is air brakes. These were basically air brakes. This is a garbage Munlander. This has got to be one of the most terrible rockets I've ever built. I'm surprised I actually built something so garbage. I mean, it works, but it's just as risky as the real Moonlander. Nice. I will never be using that one ever again. That thing is a piece of garbage. I'll be using auto strut on the next one, and I will be using, I want better batteries. Wow, I have to pay that much science just to get better batteries. That is horrible. Any of these I don't use, so these I use, but these are, except for this, I only use these hydrogen engines. Oh my, yeah, this thing is insane. I've never had an ever actual use for the twin bore. That engine, same with Skiff. I think Kodiak I've used a couple of times, but literally just the Skiff, and the other one is just completely useless to me. All these, except for this, has some sort of use. I should really be careful on my spending, honestly. Better fuel tanks. That's a must. Nuclear propulsion. Oh god damn. I would never get that because I don't even know how to use that anyway. This is the Mark 1, this is the Mark 2, and this is the Mark 2 Advanced. Explore the mine. Alright. I'll have to do more debating on that. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, this thing's an absolute piece of dog shit. I am never using this ever again. Fuck me, that thing is disgusting. Hold on. Because I'm going to need... research. Alright. I don't need any of these parts right now. The part that I desperately need is this command module and this service bay. Okay, so I have this much money in total, and they want us to gather scientific data around... I could do low orbit Mun, rescue a Kerbal around Mun, plant a flag on Mun, and go on an orbital spacewalk, which I can do when I'm rescuing one of those guys from space. Thank you, Autostrut. I need that shit. Alright. $150 electric charge won't be enough. That will be not only very heavy, but that will be very expensive, and a bunch of all that other shit. Alright. Science Junior is a must. Every craft must have a Science Junior. Service module has to be one of the best parts in the game. I absolutely love the service module. I use this thing on so many crafts, you have no idea. Before I thought this thing was absolutely useless until I realized I can actually put stuff in it. Apparently there's a guy who did a video where using a service bay as a command module is apparently far better than a command pod, but yeah, it's not realistic. I mean, technically it is, but you'd have to fill all that shit up with components, oxygen tanks and shit, so your crew doesn't die. Rocket MK0.4. This one will be the way better version of the Duna lander. Or, sorry, Moon lander. Why did I say Duna? Goddamn. Alright. And as you could imagine, you already know what I'm gonna do. How much thrust does this Terrier have in space? What's the Poodle look like? Or 730, 730. 3,000. That's like 3,000 or 2,000, and this is. I don't care. I'll spend extra money. I'm just gonna leave these unpurchased. No, stack separator is good, but for craft reuse, but we're not, no. The thing is debris, extra space debris. As of last time, we will do that same exact thing, the little side tanks, but they will be very minuscule. You know, I like this tank design better. It looks way better. And this time we're going to do 4 of these little tanks. And because that actually does give a delta V boost. But we're not going to do these decouplers actually. Yeah, those ones are a lot more close-knit, which it makes the rocket a lot more close-knit, which I really like. Alright, so we're gonna do, that's stupid. You know, the bitch is auto-strutted anyway, so who cares? As you guys should know, I love this tank. This fuel tank's gotta be one of my most favorite. I just like its design. We're gonna need something big. We're gonna need something big and strong. So I'm going to use a 3.35 meter version of the mainsail, which will give me a... Hold on. My god, what is stock KSP's staging, brother? Damn, that shit's nasty. This is where I might be able to start. Okay, I don't have those wings yet. Alright, never mind. This time we actually will use boosters. Hoping using boosters this time will actually be more better. So for this mission I will use back thumper boosters. That might actually be too much fuel. Thank God I have those nose cones. Well, this rocket's probably a lot better and a lot less garbage. We're not going to be having it again. You can piss off, Bill. Alright, so the goal here is to rescue that motherfucker who's stuck in space. That's 5,000 meters per second of delta V. That's so much, honestly. That's honestly overkill. You know, I'm thinking about doing, just hold on, get rid of this, get rid of this. I know I just said this is my favorite tank, but we're going to use this one instead because this is the less extreme thing to do. Yeah, there we go. And boosters to help me. Because okay, here's how this rocket's supposed to work. Here's how I want this rocket to work. This rocket takes me to curb in orbit I get to space. Once I get basically to space, I get rid of the boosters. Good thing I noticed that fail or malfunction, so that decouple. So basically, we get to space. We get finally rid of the solid fuel boosters. By doing that, we push up, keep pushing up, and then we get to Mun. And then once we get to Mun, we use the 1800 meters per second used from these side tanks to land on the Mun. And even possibly take off. And then we dispose these onto the Mun so we have no in-space debris, go back to Kerbin, and there we go. I'll be right back. So if you guys need a break, go ahead, because I gotta go take a bathroom break. Alright, let's do this mission. This should be relatively easy. I wonder how much this rocket costed. We're just gonna gently climb with our rocket. We don't want to push too much. Seems I don't need my main stage engine. I will continue to use my main stage engine, just like very minusculely. You know what's sad about that? That's the same amount of thrust output as a Reliant or Reliant. I call it Reliant. That's the same amount of thrust output as a Reliant engine. And Reliant, in my version, has less ISP. That's fucking sad. Nice, those ones actually didn't blow up. Alright. You know, I always keep thinking for some reason it takes 2,400 meters per second orbit Kerbin, not 2,200. For some reason I keep thinking that, and because I keep thinking that, when I build my rockets, that same perspective comes to my mind, and I end up making my rockets overkill. Alright, perfect. Ooh, that's nice. That's gonna get us real low. I forgot about him. I legitimately forgot about him. Well, almost forgot about him. Apparently this whole first stage will make it. He's in a retrograde orbit. What the fuck? Why are you in a retrograde orbit, you piece of shit, man? Well, that's disgusting. This is a very expensive piece of technology, so I'm not going to crash this. Okay, so go on an orbital spacewalk. Alright, thank you. And you said collect data. That's a really good view. Like, I would really want to build a station up here. Like a upper altitude station. That looks really nice. Have I collected? Well, that's nice. Okay. No, that's fucking... Actually, reset material study. Observe. Keep. Alright, let's hope that actually does something. Before we land, we'll also do a, we'll do some more science. That retrograde orbit is fucking disgusting. Inclined retrograde orbit, that is disgusting. That is abhorrible. That is a fucking no-no. That is a, I don't even know why you exist. That's what that is. Retrograde inclined orbit. Holy fuck, this game. Brother, ugh. You know, it feels normal, the retrograde orbit. It feels normal, but I know it's not normal. There's an odd feeling that it feels normal, but I know for 1,000% that this is a very disgusting orbit. And I should not be orbiting like this. Holy God. Alright. We're going to do like a course... I'm going to try to do a course correction here. See if I can get closer to this piece of shit. I swear to... If he's a scientist, I am going to be very angry. If this motherfucker is a scientist, I swear to God, I'm going to be very angry. Okay, allow me to explain why. Scientists are virtually useless. For later missions that you'll see in the very, very far future, like, you know how I was supposed to plan, like, part 10 or 11 for my original series, but then that bullshit with my computer ended up happening, so I decided to basically discontinue it. Well, for that mission, I needed so many rescue missions, but I needed pilots and engineers. Why? Because engineers you use in a mobile research lab to create you rocket parts and also build your ships using simple construction. Alright. I was gonna say, don't you fucking dare say I have no electric charge. I think this rocket does actually have enough electric charge where I don't need to do these kinds of energy saving maneuvers and shit. But just to be safe, I do want to practice safe, energy efficient flying. You motherfucker. I don't even know why I save you. Preferably when I go interstellar, I do want 3 scientists, just in case one happens to die. I don't want there just to be 2. So actually, this is good. This is worth it, and I will continue through with this. Because for my interstellar mission, I want at least actually 3 scientists. But I swear to God, I only need 1 more scientist, and I'm not rescuing anymore. I'm not going to purchase them either, because that is disgusting. Disgusting! And then now for a final mission, we just need to plant a flag on this rock. I am not landing on the night side of the moon. Fuck that. I could go for that crater, actually. I know there's like a crater right in front of my eyes, just right there. But that one is shrouded in darkness, so I'm not doing that. Oh, fuck. That crater right there we're gonna go for. Okay, I see my landing zone. Fucking perfect. Right directly in the center of this crater is exactly what I want. Alright. I forgot landing gear. Wow. How surprising. Obviously, I'll be preferably using Bob over this new scientist because this new scientist is very inexperienced. Okay. Okay, that was sick. While I'm here, you know what I might as well do? I might as well go ahead and do this. Grab some extra science. Oh, bruh. Well, that was easily done. Yes, sir. Sure, sure. Explore Kerbin. Yeah, I don't feel like doing that one. Alright, so let's just get straight down to the dirty. I'm only going to purchase this one, but in order to research these two, as in purchase their entry cost, I must do some certain goals. With the various different fuel tanks, I can do all of them because they're just fuel tanks. In order to get this giant Galaxies Unbound radiator, I'm going to have to complete my interstellar journey. Because this radiator is fucking overpowered. Or do dual mission. Make it easier for myself, because why not? Nah, you know what? That's a big punch in the face to my budget, though. Alright, so in order to unlock this one, I must go interstellar on the closest star system, and then this one is the second closest star system. Can I fucking right click, goddamn? I guess not, because you're a bitch. Fusion engines require... I don't know yet. I haven't even gotten there, honestly. Okay, but I need... Really? Alright, which is the one with the engine plates? How do you unlock engine plates? Docking port. Ooh, proper landing gear in this one. No. I have a low amount of money. I spent all that shit on parts. Alright. Oh yes, you can put that in there. Hell yeah. Alright. $1,500 space. Construction part only. Alright, that's a re-entry shield for for the front of the ship. Because I don't have batteries for... Oh my. Oh my! Holy shit! Oh yeah, that's so expensive. Yeah, I won't be able to afford this one. I'm gonna have to cut costs. Which I know, like, that's disgusting, but I really am gonna have to cut costs for this mission. Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna go like this. And this, there we go. Alright. I don't have enough for... I don't think I have enough for a craft this size. New craft. This is the cut cost version of this ship, which some of you may despise, and it's fair if you guys do. I do not blame you. This ship is personally ugly. And another thing, you're ugly. I assume these reverse engines suck. Oh, wait a minute. They're not the worst. They're certainly not the best, but they're also certainly not the worst. Yeah, I'm gonna really have to cut costs, which is so bad. rescue ship MK1. Cut costs. The reason why I'm naming it cut costs is because truly this ship is the cut cost version. I can't even finish this ship because I just purchased another part. I'm not even gonna purchase the heat shield. Do I have landing gear at least? Yeah, I do, but they're garbage. Gonna have to make this shit look ugly. Where's the center of mass when this thing is at like half? Okay, it's right here. Alright. Yeah, I'm not going to even be able to build this. I'm just going to make a regular chemical rocket out of these size parts. I know a good chemical rocket that I could build. Dawn Habition module. Yeah, but this one's like half the size and technically gives me more crew. How many am I rescuing? From Mun? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 from Mun. Okay, so what I can actually do is I can take Valentina, because she will be useful later. Especially for interstellar missions. I will be using her for interstellar missions later. So she can gain some experience while I rescue 2 of these Mun people who are stuck around Mun. Make that a 2-meter wide part. And just scrap a turret engine. An upscaled turret engine on this bitch. Space, it has very, very low delta V. That's A-okay. Alright. Where's Kimball? Toggle. And then also toggle these. Wow, deciding to do this instead was a way cheaper option. Why didn't I think of this from the start? wow, my version of high efficiency engines and stuff, they really do come at a price. Alright, in my opinion, this ship isn't really long enough. So as well, I will be adding on this. Perfect. Alright. And then in addition, I'll add this. A 2-meter version of this. Apparently that one can't upscale like that. Alright. Whatever. And then this. And then perfect. This should be decent enough. $155 versus, okay. So despite that being oh, wait a minute, hold on. Kilonewtons. It's not too bad. Alright. Unlike the nuclear shuttle, this one is a hell of a lot more cheaper, which is a huge plus. Which, if you didn't know, is a huge plus. I also want structural wing. I need something that looks like this. Really? So I have to buy that as a separate fucking wing? I ain't doing that. Bruh. The fuck? Just do this then. Oh, by the way, this is what I meant by... This is the kind of part clipping I do. That's legit the only type of part clipping I do. And vertical takeoff thrusters, but you kind of have to, if you, whether you want to or not, you kind of have to do that. You know what I like about this ship? With this ship, I don't have to cut costs. And this is the last activated parachute. So real quick, we're going to move these all the way down here. First to deploy are the drogue chutes. Second to deploy are the single parachute. And then the side chutes. a lot more cheaper. I can cut costs using this without having to impose on safety, causing safety infractions. This makes for a ship that still completely works, while not being total garbage. That's the safety shuttle. Or rescue shuttle. Why did I say safety shuttle? Bruh. Alright. And then we're going to, just for some little extra side stuff, we're going to add a little... I swear, this has got to be the most cutest monopropellant tank I've ever seen. Alright, but we're going to want to place... Oh. Alright. I guess you can call that a kind of a form of part clipping, but come on, bro. Like, look at this. And then I need RCS thrusters, but where does the center of mass go when half the fuel is gone? I wonder. Alright, so actually we're going to have to cause a little safety infraction. That's going to be removing the center parachute, but that shouldn't be too bad. There, that looks a lot much better. I hate that the other way. I like this facing vertical. It looks a lot much better. Alright, perfect. So, now with this being done, alright, this craft is amazing. Let's hope it actually performs amazingly. What we're gonna do is we're gonna stuff this all up in a large rocket. Send this bitch to space. Cut costs, we're going to use a actual smaller version of the mainsail alongside a full-sized to also cut costs even more, we will use smaller winglets. I have no idea if this will even take off. We're not going to cut costs with propulsion. taking it upon myself to add side tanks. Bruh. Whoa, I like this one a lot better. Titan. Okay. Yeah, I know Titan looks far more better. I like the Titan look a lot better. Alright. And this easily fucking fits within my budget. That's what I like about this construct. $5,000 meters per second of delta V though. Do I even really need that? Like again, I'm playing with stock planets here. I don't think I'll need to find that. Oh well. And if I find it's overkill, then I can always literally just shrink. Shrink these side tanks. I gotta remember the oh bruh. I desperately need the money from this. If I don't get the money from this contract, literally I'm screwed. My space program is literally cooked. Or I'm not adjusting my inclination with that. Ooh, that's very expensive. That's 2 very expensive maneuvers. And that means that piece of debris will literally get flung out of get flung out of Kerbin orbit, which is no good. Possibly flung out of Kerbin orbit. Okay, space debris around the sun is different. One little expensive rocket just flying around. The only reason why I don't want to leave it fucking stranded around the sun is because, well, alright, because it's expensive. And remember, these first stages that I launch up, I'm going to eventually want to recollect. Alright, when we're actually close to his craft, that's when we're going to do the deaccelerative burn. Oh! Oh, Kerbin's SOI is huge in the original. Oh my god. Okay, I didn't think it was that big. I thought this would be like the SOI max. Really? Stock Kerbin actually has that big of an SOI? Eve's is just as... Okay, Jewel obviously has the biggest one. At 7 megameters. But it'll basically get slingshotted by the Mun. Getting lost forever. Oh shit. If it's a scientist, then I'll have to sadly reject, which will cost me money. Let's go, brother. Pilot. Well, this is, I think, one of the Kappa pods. Yeah, it's one of the Kappa pods. That's pretty cool. Wish we could rescue it, as I really like the Kappa pods. It's a really cool pod. Not as cool as this rescue shuttle, though. This is literally just simple as fuck. Alright. Oh. Bree. Whoever invented this mod, it really needs to add a fucking crew hatch for this motherfucker, man. Valentina, sorry, but you're gonna have to go in there. Into the dungeon you go. Valentina should still get experience, right? Oh. Wait, is it not in flight? Oh no. Oh, Awesome! Yo, guys, I loved inclined orbits so much. Awesome, brother. Oh, that's my favorite. Fucking inclined orbits. The most expensive bullshit in the world. Fucking favorite, brother. Hell yeah. Let's just destroy an extra 200 meters per second of my delta V. Thanks to bitch-ass inclination. How low are these motherfuckers? Bruh. Bruh. That's horrible. Oops. Alright, whatever, I'm fine with that. Pilot. Brother, are you for real? Okay, excellent. This module has no hatch. So I literally have to throw in a docking port into this bitch, connect it to said bitch, and then rescue this bitch. Sorry, buddy. You're a dead sailor. Sorry about your luck, mate. Alright, let's get this other idiot done with. I want Curtin's debris, buddy. He's done. His life is over. There's literally nothing I can do about it. I'm not sending up a module piece either. Sorry. Sorry, man, but you're screwed. Yeah, man, you're totally screwed. I am. Nice, you're in a regular command pod, and you're an engineer. Let's go, brother. Alright. Finally, we're able and ready to get out of this fucking rock. Let's go the fuck home. I'm ready to go home now, brother. Not waste another second. Alright. So it seems we might have to play this risky due to my Delta V budget constraints. Yeah, I exactly only have 2,300 meters per second of Delta V. Alright. Yeah, but I have no idea where I'm gonna land. That's the only thing, is because of planet rotation. We're actually going to want to land retrograde, facing towards retrograde, so we can use our engines to slow down. As soon as we start burning up, that's when we're going to want to. Does this thing actually fly forwards? Oh, surprisingly, this thing actually is capable of flying forward without flipping around. Like a dumb piece of crap. This thing flies pretty good! I was expecting this thing to be dog shit. Well, it could be that it's also that empty on fuel, but... You know, I like flying around with this thing. Alright, but let's stop fooling around, get back to our mission. With these landing gear, we should be able to land. Bruh. That was the most stupidity. That was like just the most stupid, simplistic landing I have honestly. That's like holy shit. That's one of the most simplistic landings I've ever done. Now this thing, it could take back off, but I'm not going to. Plus I'm out of fuel anyway. Well guys, that seems to be it. We did it. We rescued 2. Sadly, the rest of them are stuck up there. One of them being, regrettably, hate to say it, a pilot. So they're fucking screwed. Yeah, man, they're screwed. So, that shit out of here. Bye. How am I supposed to know where this bitch ass motherfucker is, man? Anyway. Alright. Terminate. 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 And terminate. So we rescued we rescued 3 out of 1 Kerbals. Alright, nice. 1 sadly went kaboom. I should not be laughing because that was a pilot and I needed a pilot badly, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna need my nuclear shuttle for that one though. Not really. Let's see. 4 extra slots. I could rescue. Yes, I could easily rescue 8 and do 2 missions. Oh yo. No, just no. Give me a flag mission. Give me a flag mission. Flag. 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 Flag, you fucking bitch. Flag, you fucking bitch. Flag, you motherfucker. Give me a flag mission. I want to plant a flag on the mun. Yeah, that's why I disabled decline penalty. Shouldn't get a penalty for declining contracts, like... Should get failure, obviously. But... Wait, hold on. So he can chill there for 11 years. Nice. Alright, I'm not gonna fuck around with that. We're just gonna rescue him. He's gonna be the last person that we're gonna rescue. We're gonna do all these other missions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9? 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we go. Again, you gotta remember though, a lot of these people, some of these people are probably just, oh. Okay, so now we have 10 contracts, rescue contracts. The thing is these could be... I'm also bringing up a docking port. an extra docking port with my nuclear shuttle. That I need so badly. But for now, guys, that is it. And I'll see you guys in part 2.